meeting to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, may I have the roll call, please?
Mike Cunningham.
Here.
Jennifer Eden. Here. Al Poole.
Here.
Soren Peterson.
Here.
Chuck Schultz. Marcy Houston here, and David Walker is absent.
At this time, I'd like to suspend our regular board meeting so we can conduct a public hearing. The purpose of the annual public hearing is to hear objections which may be offered against the estimate cost for police and fire protection and on the distribution of the levy for the fiscal year beginning April 1st, 2018. So if anybody would like to speak against or for our police and fire public assessment, this is something that we have to do every year in order to levy the assessment against your property. Feel free to do so. Please stand and state your name and address for the record. Is it clear that we don't have anybody? Okay, so we'll close that part of it. The second part of the public hearing is purpose of hearing is to explain and answer questions pertaining to the role and to hear objections to the role of the Silver Lake Estates Waste Collection Project 2017 Special Assessment District. Same thing, if anybody would like to speak for or against, please stand, state your name and your address for the record. Yes, sir.
My name is Tom Humanchik. I live at 9441 Englishman Drive. I'm against it. And basically because I don't like the idea of the township taking over my right to pick my trash haul. I'm retired. We've been retired for a year and a half, and I'm outside a lot. Noise doesn't bother me. I think these trash haulers are probably in our small subdivision for no more than probably about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So that's maybe 30 minutes out of a week at the most. And I guess I was kind of wondering, I didn't make the last meeting, but what would the snowbirds do if they're gone for 3 months or 4 months out of the year? Maybe somebody can answer that for me. How would the township handle it if this gets passed?
They still would get assessed while they're out.
So you still pay? I want to put my vote down as no.
Thank you. Anybody else? That's nice. I'll split over here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Mark Plude, and my address is 9419 Bennett Lake Road. But I'm here as a party of interest for another piece of property. At the end of the cul-de-sac on Bay of First, there is a community lot that doesn't generate any waste. And I know I had to give you a written notice, so I've got it written up. I can read what it says. I don't know.
Just give it to the clerk.
My objections to the assessment is the property doesn't benefit from the establishment of a single waste hauler to collect and dispose garbage and rubbish. There is no residence on the property and no one resides on the property. No garbage or waste is generated to be collected. Any members generating any waste are required to remove their waste. Officers of the association cannot monitor the waste or garbage if the collection is mandated for the site. The association has existed for decades without any prior garbage or waste collection, and the association doesn't pay any property taxes on the property. So that being said, that's my objections to the assessment for that single piece of property.
And I will respond to that. Any parcels that do not have a structure on them will not be assessed for garbage collection. So there's that one, and then there's one other one that doesn't have a structure on it.
It's all wooded.
Right, so those will have no assessment.
Good enough. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
John Wazetsky, I'm at 9345 Marriage Drive. I was just wondering, is there any negotiations going on with these contractors? from here out, or is this, the way this contract's written is? Because I currently have Republic, and I've had good service from them. In the past, though, where they refer to this fuel recovery fee, I had bills, I had to add it to my, and if I do the math, over the course of 2 years, I think there's 88 homes. That would come out to roughly $140 a week they would be collecting fuel recovery. So, I like the contract, the only thing I don't like is if that's something that could be removed. And we submit this bid.
I don't have the answer to that, but I can find out.
I mean, they're currently, they got written up in here a 3% increase per year already, so I think that's a decent amount of increase. They're only a 3-year contract, correct,
Right.
for them?
We do have contracts with Republic for a couple other subdivisions. One's been using them for many years, and their price increases have just been the 3%. They haven't seen any large spikes or anything, so I can't guarantee that that won't happen, but, and this language is in their contracts as well.
Now, what is our services in relationship to their fee, or is it?
It is about the same. It's very close, maybe within a few cents.
All right.
Okay, anyone else? All right, with that being said, we don't have any more comments for the public hearing, so I will close the public hearing, and we will reconvene our regular board meeting. Do we have any changes to the agenda? I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Next is approval of the consent agenda, the regular board meeting minutes from September 5th, 2017, the treasurer's report, and the clerk's warrants and bills.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That's approved. Next are communications. Item number 1, Planning Commission approved meeting minutes from August 8th, 2017, and the Planning Commission meeting synopsis from September 12th, 2017.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to receive and place on file communications 1 and 2. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Next is public remarks. Does anybody have any other things that they'd like to address the board regarding the agenda or township business? Seeing that we have no public remarks, we'll move on to unfinished business, which is the Economic Development Council Ann Arbor Spark contract. This is a 3-year contract, I believe. The first year would be for $9,135, the second year for $9,272, and the third year for $9,411. Anybody have any comment about it? I know there was a lot of comment and concern at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and start it. We started this out and it was $8,000 a year, and it keeps increasing, and I know it was an economic downturn. And I remember when we first started this contract, the comment was, we put a $22 million investment in the ground in a regional sewer system, and we've done nothing to market it. Here's an opportunity for us to do so. And we've done so, and I'm kind of torn with it now, because we're getting to an upturn in the economy, and, at first I was thinking, I'm not supportive of it any longer, but, the thing is the annual increase, usually you get increases based on performance and things like that, but we're having some discussion, and
Seeing it so
there's
much right
a
now.
little tick, but there hasn't been anything that's concrete. So, I'm not saying that we shouldn't still do something. I'm just saying that I'd like it back at what we were paying for it, and I don't know if I'm ready to dive in for 3 years. And is it possible, can we do 1 year at a time and see how it goes? This is $29,000 investment, and
Right,
it's a lot of money. So,
along with what we've already invested in.
but, I'd saved my pace, so. But I still think that, we've got that sewer system there, we should do something, but, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but.
Maybe bump it back and see if we can get a pencil to sharpen that price up and maybe get us to a year to year.
I'd be more apt to go along with something like that.
I mean, we've shown good faith at sticking with it,
6 years now.
Yeah,
so. We flatline it somewhere and go year to year for 3 years.
I could live with that.
Well, I would make the motion to revisit it and see if they can.
Well, actually, if we're not acting on the agenda item, we would not make a motion.
Okay.
So, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Good.
the agenda item is to approve or not approve. So if we don't make an agenda item, we're not taking any action on it. We just kind of go back and discuss and see what the options are, and then bring it back at our next meeting.
Like us to see if we can't get a better deal.
Okay, maybe we probably should have done that before, but, it kind of came to be this way, so.
Well, I mean, we've been paying into it for a while.
Right.
And, like I said, yeah, there's been a little tick, but have we gotten out of the last, $50,000 we've given, what have we gotten?
Well, and I think that's part of the reason why we're looking for a defined measurable, which was laid out for us tonight by Phil, and I think that, there's probably something that we could do. So I think we kind of just, let's reel it in and talk to him a little bit more, and, I don't want to know if we want to, stick a knife in this thing and call it done, but I still think that.
I think we're gonna see if we can get, can we sharpen the pencil? And I agree with being able to go year, if something happens after 1 year, 2 years, and we, enough, which I don't see that happening, but yeah. Doesn't lock us in.
Maybe we should look for more feedback, like we require of the sheriff. As it is now.
Reports?
We see these people annually, but we don't see them in between.
Well, or we could get a report, we could possibly do a quarterly or biannually sit-down conversation, see where we're at, and just kind of circle the wagons and see what we could work on that as well. So let's just not do anything and then talk to them a little bit more. I mean, I think that there's some value here, but I just want to make sure that we're getting it right. So, fair enough, Phil? Okay, we'll get in touch with you tomorrow. I'll give you a call. It'll be fine. Are you busy tomorrow?
Yeah, keep coming.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, so now we've completed our unfinished business. We're going to new business, our Weir MyCat Land Division request. I know that this has been kicked around. We finally do have a letter from the Planning Commission saying that it's a go. Sorry, Mr. Weir, for all the thing, but, we always want to make sure that we get these things right, and I know we kind of hit the gas to try and push it a little bit harder and, kind of trip this up, and, I definitely don't want to see you have to sit here again for another meeting, so I think that I'll just go ahead and make the motion to approve the Weir MyCat Land Division request. It's been motioned and supported to approve the Weir MyCat Land Division request. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? We'll get that So we approved it, so let's go ahead and as a caveat, let's rescind. We've approved it as it was presented. But let's go ahead and I would like to make a motion that we withdraw our last resolution on this so that this one will be effective. So I'll make that motion now.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to withdraw the previous resolution to the Weir MyCat boundary request. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay, that carries. So now it's clean. Thank you, Terry. Next item is item number 2. Choose a waste company for the Silver Lake Estates SAD district. You want to take that?
Sure. So when I sent the letters out with notifying you of the public hearing, I also sent you out a comparison of the 3 companies that we received bids from. And after I reviewed them, it's my recommendation that you go with Republic Services. And I have a couple reasons for that. We have a good relationship with them. They've been working with some of our other subdivisions, and I know that there are also some people that were concerned about recycling. They recycle, and I don't know how many of you are aware, but they did just acquire Community Holdings, and it says it's the largest independent recycling processor in the U.S. So that, to me, tells me that they have a high commitment towards recycling. And so those of you who had concerns that you may not have recycling, if you go with Republic, I feel assured that they're not going to cancel their recycling like some of the other companies have done. So that is my recommendation. Cost-wise, between Dougie's and Republic, they were very close, but Republic offers unlimited recycling, unlimited yard waste. They assured me that whatever you put out there, they're going to take, even if you put more than what fits in your container. They're never going to leave bags of garbage or yard waste just because there might be a limit. They're always going to take it, is what I've been told. So that is my recommendation, is that I would recommend that you select Dougie, or select Republic. And I've done the cost analysis, and
I just want to address the comment that was made earlier in the public hearing regarding the fuel recovery cost. That's set to trigger if the fuel cost of diesel goes over $3.50 a gallon. That's the wholesale fuel cost, which is lower than the retail fuel cost. That is something that's standard language. It's in our fire department contract. It's in other contracts that we do. And it's put there in order to ensure that you get a fair, equitable cost. But taking that out would increase your baseline cost. So if we were to say, look, we'll approve the contract without that fuel cost, and they said, well, then we can't approve the contract. We're going to have to go at this rate, because if it goes over, there's no equity. We lose our equity in the contract. So that's why that's there. So I just wanted to kind of explain that a little bit. We got real close one time with the fire contract, and it got right there, and I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna have the fuel surcharge, and then the bottom fell out of it. So I've never seen it, in the 8 years that I've been here, I have not seen that kick in any of the contracts that we have as far as our service providers that are diesel and they have a fuel surcharge in there. So, knock on wood that doesn't happen again. Yes?
Do you sign then a formal contract with Republic?
Which-
Correct.
Right, with whichever company is selected, yes.
They can't stop the recycling unless they go out of business. then.
Correct,
Right,
correct.
that is correct.
Was this a done deal?
Well, the board has to vote.
There will be a vote whether we want to do this to begin with, or which trash hauler we want.
Well, the board will make a determination of which trash hauler to select as well, based on the information that we've
It's
gathered.
already a done deal. Our Silver Lake Estates is already somewhat approved to have this assessment.
Yeah, it was
This
approved
is
at
the
our last
final,
meeting.
this is the
Meeting.
final step in it.
One thing about Republic, if you go online, I could not find any contact number at all. It's just strictly, you do it all online. No person to talk to, I didn't find anything in this paperwork form either.
I can get you a personal contact, and our contact, in our contact that we at the township have, I just spoke with him yesterday, and he wants his desk phone given out to all of our residents who are inquiring about trash pickup. He wants to speak with them personally, so he will talk to you. He's very busy, but he always will get back with you, and he's always returned my calls and my emails, so you will have a personal contact, and we can give you that number.
I just thought it was kind of unusual. I could get a hold of the other two, but I couldn't get a hold of Republic. Couldn't find anything online for a
Really?
number.
Yeah, there you go.
If it really, this really gets approved, do we then get assessed for, or do we have to pay for the garbage cans?
No,
Okay, we'll just use the ones we have,
no,
Provide.
they'll provide you with two,
the Smurf garbage cans.
yes, yeah.
Now, this was done by petition, right? So there was a
Correct.
majority of the subdivision
Yes.
wanted this to happen. So unless there was a petition gone around that went negative, majority didn't want it to happen. If the petition comes across and
Where's that petition at?
clerk's office, it's got, you got
I
it.
have the petition that was filed in support of the project.
So it is basically verbatim, I mean, I know there's some people rejecting it, but there's been a petition with a majority of the subdivision residents wanting to move forward with the assessment. So, in that retrospect, that's why we're here where we're at,
Right.
not because we want to impose ourselves on it.
No.
No.
I
We're
get
just,
that.
technically, as a group, we've just been asked to do this.
Right,
So,
I get that.
this isn't,
It's an issue.
we're just taking the money and paying it out.
Yeah,
That's
we're
it.
just a pass-through agency.
That's it. So,
So you made a recommendation for Republic?
Public services.
Yes,
Did you want to make that recommendation in form of a motion?
yes. I move to select Republic Services as the waste hauler for Silver Lake Estates Special Assessment District.
I'll support.
It's been resolved and supported to, actually, it's a motion, I'm sorry.
This is a motion.
Yeah, it's been motioned and supported to select Republic Services as the Silver Lakes Estates trash carrier. Any-
would that start?
April 1st of next year.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries, so now you'll be having Republic here shortly. Next item on the agenda is number 3, the Silver Lake Estates Resolution. Yes,
another Mike and Land Division?
not on this agenda, no.
It's been coming up for months every,
No, we haven't had that one on the agenda yet. We just had this last one.
how soon is it gonna be on the agenda?
Once everything gets, yeah.
Possible. I got notice from our attorney, from the surveyor. Everyone said it was gonna be.
It's gone through the planning commission, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Now, have we got a letter of approval for it yet?
not that I've seen.
If you call me tomorrow, I can tell you exactly when we'll go on.
But you don't know anything about it.
I do know about it. I do know that it's there, and I know that it has gone through the planning commission. That's all I can tell you right now, but if you call me tomorrow, I can tell you exactly when it'll be on. We do post our agenda online, so you could read it. All right. So next item is item number 3, the Silver Lake Estates Resolution 170905, resolution confirming the special assessment role. We'll make a motion.
So resolved.
Been resolved and supported for resolution 170905 to confirm the special assessment role for Silver Lake Estates. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Al Poole,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes.
Mike Cunningham.
Yes.
Soren Peterson.
No.
Chuck Schultz.
Yes.
I say yes, and David Walker's absent.
All right, next item on the agenda is item number 4, request to extend the snow removal contract for an additional year for the Park and Lane subdivision.
How do we go about having that rebate?
Is there a date on this contract?
This,
For a couple of years.
Is it the same rate as we initially had?
yeah,
Yeah, we originally put it out to bid, and it was a rate, they're holding the same rate. Are there residents that are unhappy with it?
I've had residents crash into my neighbor's fence. I've had residents put their cars. All residents, which did not, was being held. And at this point in time, we're trying to figure it out.
well,
I'm a
we,
resident of the road. I own a plow company. I watch the services that they provide, manipulate the system. If I need to document more with photos, videos, I can do so.
Yeah, usually when things like that occur, we should know, but so we can get some information. We could, snow will start flying here in a month or two, we should,
I mean, I got outbid by them by $10 for the season. We got told that was the end of the discussion. The last time that was up for bid. Since then, it has not been brought back to the agenda outside of being extended in time.
all right, well,
I have no problem putting it out for bid.
I do understand I was the only other participant.
right. But what I want to hear is I want to hear a bunch of residents that want it, not,
Petitioner, I'll take signed by order to communicate with my.
yeah, well, I'd like to see them here at the meeting, and, I'd like to get something a little bit more concrete about, than,
I know essentially it's Mary who has. President Mary, not.
okay, right. I mean, we could hold this off to the next meeting, and if we get enough residents that say, hey, let's put it out for bid again, then I have no problem of doing it. I don't think the township board has any problem doing it.
Time frame.
Well, I mean, we need to get something in place before the snow flies.
We don't have a lot of time, but,
If,
I mean, we're looking at September, we would have to put it out to bid and have bids probably by, we've got about a month.
well, and I understand what you're saying. We need to make sure that this is still open-ended to be able to be postponed a month. You know, if Shoemaker Services, needs to have a contract signed by a certain, I did not read this at,
this contract
Business
expires
materials and-
September 30th of 2017, or until terminated by either party.
September 30th, so
By October.
our second meeting will be, our next meeting will be, obviously before that, the following meeting, if we're gonna be out for bids, we're gonna have to make, because otherwise, we potentially could be.
We're not gonna have another meeting before this expires.
This is the, right,
Yeah.
that's right. So, what we need to do,
As amend
I
this
don't,
one to.
well, I don't know. I don't know if this affects, if timing affects this or not. This could put
It may be
parking
too
lane
late
in a
to-
jam. It's like too quick to steer the ship. I don't know.
Next year anyway.
Yeah.
You only have 1 year extension after this, you go out for bid next year regardless.
We should be able to get that out for bid, don't you think? Yet this year, I mean, we can try, and if it's too late in the season,
I
you,
honestly don't think you're gonna have very many people that only had Dominion Shoemaker bid on.
what's your name?
Justin
Justin, what's your last name?
Barber,
Barbara, okay.
The
Well,
business name?
Aircraft Construction.
Aerocraft Construction.
Apply for Oakland County Road Commission on their
Okay.
handle 365 miles of road. It was crashed and reflected in the receipt for the amount of money that we paid.
That part, I'm worried about being out of contract and not being able to extend.
We already
Time
have.
has kind of got us backed in a corner here.
Getting late in the year.
Yeah, I was not aware that there were any problems.
None of my neighbors were aware of this
Meeting?
going on. Yeah,
I mean,
we've done
during,
it every year.
during the winter, I was not aware that there were any problems with the service that they were providing, so, usually we get complaints.
Is there a way, just humoring the idea here, is there a way that pending that
Well, since
This-
well, here's the way it's written. We can terminate the contract.
in the morning when the road's polished and ice.
Well, we can terminate the contract. The thing is that if we have another meeting after the 30th, and this expires for an extension, we could be in some deep stuff as far as pricing and for Park and Lane as a whole. That's my fear, is that if we postpone this one more meeting, we're past that
deadline.
expiration.
It says we've got 30 days written notice for termination.
So it has to be terminated by September 30th.
There's-
Well, the contract expires September 30th, and we have an extension at just extending this for another fiscal year. So, but the point is that extension still available after the 30th? That's the problem. If we wait another meeting, we're after the 30th, and this expires.
You're in a situation
And
where
we're-
you can extend it for a year, but you also have the right to.
Say,
terminate
we cancel it in
30
30
So
days.
you go into the next year.
So the safe thing to do would be to take a vote on it and see whether it gets, and if we get enough feedback from the residents that they're
We can,
unsatisfied with the service, we can always terminate and rebid.
at a majority of,
And would that
or,
include the township.
Does it have to be 2/3 majority or 51%?
The Township Hall, they're two separate contracts. That's the next one.
Both are Shoemaker though.
Yes.
So we contract out for bids as well.
There's been no complaints on it. Right now, we're addressing the fact that there's a complaint. Well, if this is really happening, there's bad service. If you can bring your community up here, is it gonna be a 51, or are we gonna have to do 2/3 to go up for bid at this point to cancel this contract, or does it gotta be 51%?
I think 51% is only required for the SAD, and we
Yeah.
would have to probably consult our attorney, but if there are issues that are arising where our residents are unhappy or things aren't being done satisfactory, then we can make that decision.
We haven't had any complaints on the township parking lot. Obviously, we're here, and it hasn't been an issue, but we're not,
Yeah, there's different hours of
Yeah.
operation as
So-
well. Yeah, essentially.
with this being a separate contract, unless correct, I'm thinking this is the only issue here going up for bid. Now, this extension over here, provided as we talk as a group, we all in agreement that there's been no issues. They're gonna extend at the same price, we're budgeted, more than likely. I mean,
Right.
we don't know until it gets voted on, but it could go right on
Right.
through as this, so
So
that's two separate
So
contracts.
what we would need at our next meeting is residents complaining that they're unhappy with the service, for us to have a discussion
Or a
on it.
petition of majority.
Yeah, or a petition.
Can they just contact us?
Yeah,
I mean, they can always
Call it
call
in.
us.
they can always call us.
Yeah, call and talk to either myself or Terry's, my deputy.
Yeah,
And-
I've spoken with Terry.
Yeah, and let us know, who they are and what their address is and what their complaint is. And, then we can look into it further. My suggestion is go ahead and approve this extension tonight. We still have until the
Oh.
30th before we have to actually commit.
Right.
And then
If someone
see
comes forward.
if we get a lot of complaints from the residents, like in the next week.
I
You don't
get,
have to
Terry and I
actually-
yield a lot of complaint phone calls, and for some of the, I have not yet received one on this, and I'm not saying that they don't exist, but I'd like to hear what they do. So I think we need to carry on with the agenda and, wait to hear, see if we hear anything. Okay?
When would the next meeting be?
Next meeting will be, was it October 2nd?
First Tuesday.
First Tuesday of next month.
But we would have to
Third,
hear
I
from those residents before that date.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Before
yeah.
that
Yeah,
date.
some of them would have been here tonight, but I called them at 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I just seen it in my email.
I'm sorry, that would be Tuesday, October 3rd. I was
Yeah,
on
have them
Friday.
call. Just have them call us.
Okay.
We're here tomorrow and Thursday. Of course, we're not here Friday, but have them call and talk to either one of us, or they can talk to Mike, and we'll get their complaint on record, and then we can go from there.
Viable solution to not lapse any
I
pricing
hate for
or
you not,
service.
to not have service.
Right.
Oh, we have service because I've plowed the road on multiple.
Oh,
So I've plowed my way in, I've plowed my way out. They even arrive prepared. Personally, they have too much across the town.
Right.
Where they are dedicating other things.
Sure.
And they get the whim of what's going afterwards. They're dedicating their services to the parking lot because you guys have a 9 to 5 hour range. So what goes on during the day? Nothing. Sun shines, it's a lot easier to manage the weather. Dealing with these overnight situations, they're supposed to salt
Sure.
the hill, on both hills. They stop and go down the hill.
I don't mean to cut you off, but we got to get back on the agenda. The proper time would have been public remark. So we know what we need to do going forward. We need to hear from residents. So if you could have them contact, we'd appreciate it, and then we'll go from there, okay? Thanks. Okay, so, back to the park and lane snow removal.
I think I would play it safe and make the motion to approve it as written right now.
Support. Been motioned and supported to approve the park and lane snow removal contract. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. The next item of business is request to extend the snow removal contract for additional year for the Township Hall. Yep. So,
Well, if we need to get this done the next 2 weeks, we're gonna be past our deadline. It's my opinion that we should go ahead and approve it. And it's, the board can always hear bids, right?
well, on this one, we did go through the bid process, and we just, it was the bid, we took it, and they've provided the service that we need. We don't have any issues here.
Yeah, we don't have
You
any.
know, so,
I've never seen any issues here.
so I don't have a reason to put it out to bid right now, especially at the
Unless-
last hour. If we want to look at it next year, you know, come to us, you know, in July and say, or July or beginning of August and say, hey, you know, I'd like to bid on your snow thing, then we wouldn't have an issue with it. So, but I mean, we're late in the game. And
Yeah, I did come to
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, we didn't ever put it out to bid, but just say you'd like to bid on it, and we'll take a look at it then, so. But we do have a current motion from Chuck to, do we have a support? It's been motioned and supported to extend the snow removal contract for an additional year for the Township Hall. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries. Miscellaneous business, we have none. Public remarks, anything? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Support.
Been motioned and supported to adjourn our meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, meeting's adjourned. Terry, a hammer. She knew I didn't need it.
Terry didn't get it turned on.